Welcome back to the road to Cheltenham. It's just myself and Joel today with Matt away. But despite the weather, quite a good amount of racing to talk through. Jonbon and Load of Sud will be the talking points from Sandown. Jello or J-Lo, however you pronounce, still winning for Venetia Williams and still getting better. Will be another talking point from Huntingdon, and then plenty from Ireland. Some good novice hurdlers. I know that Joel's given a shout to Yellow Clay previously, who won. And Energumene back in action yesterday. So actually quite a lot of Cheltenham pointers, despite the storm. What was it called, Joel? Storm Dara?
Yes, Storm Dara. I was in Lapland during Hong Kong. I got the pilot of the plane, tried to land the plane twice into Birmingham Airport and couldn't. So we went to East Midlands International Airport and then had to get the bus back to Birmingham and then drove back to Cheshire. So a 12-hour round trip to Lapland. Nice.
Wonderful. Plenty of time to watch Jonbon over on repeat, though. What did you think?
Did what Jonbon does, and I came back last night and I watched the full ITV racing show from ITV4, and I liked Nicky's thing about he's jumped that water, the fence with the water many times, but he still thinks there's crocodiles in it or something like that. Really impressed. Is it 6 from 6 for Nico now since taking over the ride? Quixios in second, 8 lengths behind, and JPR1, which I put as a forecast. And had a nice bet on the place on that for 2 places. I thought it was given a lot to do, but look, that ground looked shocking. The wind was awful. So not a lot of excuses, really, even though just before we started, I was going, Brendan Powell, he's one of the best out there. But I was really impressed. What about yourself?
So you were impressed. I was also impressed. I thought he was really good. My only problem is this is a Road to Cheltenham show. And when I start to look back at Jonbon's form, well, he was really good at the weekend. No doubt about it. Was clever at his fences, finished his race off strong in terrible ground, like you said. But previously, at Cheltenham in November, he only just beat Boot Hill and Edwardstone. It wasn't that pretty. Race before that, you go back to Sandown, and he beat El Fabiolo, another massive performance at Sandown. Really good performance at Aintree, beat Conflated. These are all top horses. Go back one more run, he was beat by Elixir de Nuts at Cheltenham. Go back to Sandown, he won. And then guess what? You go back to Cheltenham, he didn't put in the best performance. So every time Cheltenham comes up on his CV, it's not as good as it could be. And
no,
I'm really struggling to have
It's not, Frankie. But listen. Willie Mullins was interviewed and talking about what he thought of Jonbon. And he said, really impressive. He'll take a lot to beat him. But what will beat Jonbon at Cheltenham, apart from himself?
Here's your question. Gaelic Warrior probably might not go. Energumene, obviously, we saw back in action. Al Fabiolo, who knows what's going to happen with him. But I suppose that does lead us on to chatting about Energumene. He won on Sunday, and he did it nicely enough. He's previously been, having his battles with Shishkin. He now comes back to take on another of Nick Henderson's, Jonbon, if he goes there. Can he be the challenger? Is he the challenger?
It's a race that I'm really confused with, because I think Jonbon's 4-1 now. We'll probably go off, if the field lines up now, probably go off 13-8, something like that. But I'm not backing Jonbon at Cheltenham. And as you said, Gaelic Warrior probably won't go there. Energumene, again, very impressed. 2 years off. But, there is that bounce factor. And as Willie Mullins said, that they don't improve like they do when they're young. I can see Jonbon beating Energumene, but again, there's got to be something. A lot of the big Irish, there's got to be something lurking out there that's going to beat Jonbon. If we're together now saying Jonbon is the best of the British, obviously, what is there to beat Jonbon that we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, isn't it?
It's tough, isn't it?
I don't know. I just don't love him for the festival, Jonbon. I mean, Energumene at the weekend, after however many months off, has gone 10 lengths clear of Dino Blue, who's a 157 rated horse. Jonbon probably went a similar distance clear of Calixiox, who's rated 155. But that's at Jonbon's track that he's put in all of his best performances at. And Energumene is a dual champion chase winner. I think at the moment, I would rather have the old boy, Energumene. And I hate to say it because I love Jonbon and I would love him to go and win the Champion Chase, but just not convinced on his Cheltenham form. A horse that could go to the Champion Chase, but probably won't, in my opinion, is Banbridge. He was pushing Energumene when he came unseated at the weekend. Could he go to the Champion Chase over 2, or is this just his path back to the Ryanair where he needs to do a little sun dance because he's had bad luck with the weather, hasn't he?
Well, I thought as soon as that race finished, I'm thinking, we'll never know. That's the old cliche, isn't it? We'll never know. But he was pushing in Banbridge, and then it was, what's your man, Deacon? Where he was riding it. He fell off. And I was thinking, that wasn't Banbridge's ground. And we go to Cheltenham, right, where you've got his ground. Go Ryanair, wait. Ryanair, 16, 20 to 1, something like that. A really soft on the seat. I was pushing Energumene all the way to the line. I was the lights were flashing there for me, going, oh, have a bet. 16 to 1.
Yeah. 16 to 1, I agree. I think if there's one horse that stands out as one to actually back now, I think I agree. Banbridge would put in a massive race at the weekend over a subpar trip. He started his season late last year, so we saw him first over 2.5. I think at Ascot, was it? If you go back the year before, they started him off over 2 and then built him up to 2.5. I think there's no problem with him starting over 2. It doesn't mean that they want to bring him back to 2. They've just got the end of season in mind, and I think it's a huge price. The question is the ground, isn't it? Because come to the festival, it normally is softer than he'd like. But say it's good to soft ground on Thursday, and in the Ryanair, you've got, as always, a load of horses that could go up or down a trip, and you don't really know who's going. He's nailed on as a 2.5 miler, isn't he? I think he's got a huge chance.
I honestly, I looked at this last night, and I was thinking, if Ryanair, if it's on the good side of soft, he'll go. If not, he'll probably be saved to. Might even go to Aintree. I don't know. But what you're playing on that 16 to 1 is the ground. Is the ground. Yeah. 2.5 miles. The ground is there. Goes off on the day, 6, 7 to 1, something like that, depending on what lines up. But I'm willing to take the risk on that. And we've had such a crappy winter. Would you a bit of luck? And still watching that back, would he? Because also Paul Townend wouldn't have cut an Energumene into 2. You know what I mean? If it had been beaten a short head, he's not going to knock him about after a couple of years off. Disappeared all last season. So no, I think that's one for the books at 16 to 1, Ryanair.
Okay, we've got a shout. We've got an anti-post shout that we both like. Jello, can he be a contender? Is he good enough? Or did he just get his Venetia ground and conditions and manage to do a good job? Or has he now thrown himself into the mixer for the festival?
I don't think so. I think yesterday the market said it all. And the last few weeks, we've said, look, it's what you do. You can sit there and you can study the form, but you can do whatever. When the ground's like this, Venetian form, you've just got to pile in. You've got to you've just got to pile in, and that's what they did at the weekend. And I watched it, and it was easy as you like. Brilliant. We say it every week how Charlie Deutsch is amazing over fences anyway, and he doesn't show a lot of expression, but there was a wry smile there afterwards. It was easy as you like, and it would have been a ground or whatever. I don't think he's up to that Ryanair level, and of course, we want it to go a little bit firmer for Banbridge. So it wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, I think I agree. Massive performance at the weekend. I still probably wouldn't have him as a Grade 1 Cheltenham Festival winning horse, despite how impressive he was. So that's the Jonbon and Energumene decider summed up, and we both like Banbridge back up to 2.5 come the festival if the sun's shining. Back to Sandown, we saw Loda Sud, who keeps on winning. Now your second fav, 6 to 1 for the Arkle. Is he a proper cemented on contender now?
It's the best that we've got, but pretty much the only thing.
But Ballyburn is in there.
Yeah, Ballyburn is in there. So unless Ballyburn stands on a rock or gets a stone bruise or whatever, I think you're playing for place money, aren't you? Yeah. The thing about it is they made no bones about it. And again, there was a bit of a quip by Dan Skelton at the weekend on TV that the idea it's a championship. He wants Harry to win the 500 grand. You know, we say it every week about there's 4 or 5 jocks that are in with a chance and nobody else cares. But he'll be running all of these horses until then. And, you know, Sud has done nothing wrong. I mean, you were out in Hong Kong. Did you see Sir Alex or any of the cronies?
The whole team were out there. Incredible. They are quite literally going around the world with Spirit Dancer. And they're all in good form.
They're just having their lives. The world's luckiest.
I know. It is great to see. I mean, yeah, last time it was Sud and Il Ridoto at Cheltenham and Spirit Dancer in Bahrain. And then they had Sud at Sandown. They had Protector out. I know didn't win Huntingdon, and then they had Spirit Dancer back in Hong Kong, and they are just having the time of, you know, a pint by the pool in the morning, racing in the afternoon. They're living the dream.
This is me and you in 65 years, isn't it? You know, once I've managed Man United, you've made a couple of billion. We're out there. I mean, it's just unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah. And it's great to see. They're not, you know, they are as interested in all of their horses at any race course in any race as each other. They absolutely love the game. They're obviously excited by Sud. I mean, I think we probably all agree that Ballyburn, whatever race he lined up in and whoever or whatever else came along this season, he was going to set the marker, wasn't he? I thought Sud was really, really good. I quite like the way that he finished his race off, given the fact that the ground was so testing and he missed a few. I think the way that he jumps kind of gives him a shout for the Arkle, but I don't think I'll be backing him at 6-1. Like you said, the time to back him was probably previously when he won about 10s. And then you can just say, look, if he comes in the top 3, we've had a little bit back at place money. And if he gets beat by Ballyburn, then so be it. At 6s, I'm not sure I'll be backing him now anyway, because his price won't change till the festival, will it? So,
what you make of the other Irish horse who was out the back from Mark Walsham? What was the?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was what it ran three or four times. We've seen it once in a bumper, twice over hurdles, once over fences. I'd say it'll keep improving. Maybe a little bit of lack of fitness because it came off the bridle a bit soon, and obviously the ground didn't help. Touch Me Not was quite interesting to see how much of that fence he went through. Was it too out? Absolutely clattered it. So you could probably mark that performance up for anything. Heavy ground, only 3 1/4 lengths behind Sud, and 8 one of those fences for lunch. So, I would mark both of those up. Touch Me Not for eating a fence, and Down Memory Lane for just a bit of lack of experience, and both running okay behind Sud. I don't necessarily think they are they're definitely not Arkle contenders in my opinion, but there may be a race for them somewhere. They're probably both improving horses. So Sud we like, but we just can't have anything over Ballyburn. Ben Pauling has been mad about his handstands, hasn't he? He finished behind Ballyburn by about 50 lengths in the Bingham last year. He won at the weekend over fences after falling on his first start. Can he be a Grade 1 novice chaser? Could he go for the Brown? He's 40-1 for the Brown Advisory.
I do like backing Ben Pauling's at the festival. It's not giving me a lot of winnings as of yet. A couple last year, but they're always big prices. And I think you've mentioned beforehand that how hard they work, and it's not about how hard they work; it's about how horses run. But I really like Ben Pauling. I've been really big on Ben Jones as well. I mean, what was second respective glory? What was the horse in second? Handstands, about 3 lengths that couldn't jump with Sean Bowen on.
Gosh, what's it called?
Jump like a fridge. Resplendent Glory.
Yes.
Yeah, that was back in second. Look, it's one of those that you sit on, isn't it? If one of the bookies pops you in a 10 or a 5 a free bet, stick it there, forget about it. But it's not something you put your hard earned on at 40s, is it? Really? Is it?
No, and the reason being is because Il Atlantique seems like he's back now over fences. Now he's 14-1 for the Brown Advisory. In that novice chase, Waterford Whispers was second and was second in the pipe at the festival last year to better days ahead, who's already beaten Slade's Deal over fences, a proper Grade 1 horse. In third was Goodland, who was fourth in the Bingham that Imperio Pass won. Gaelic Warrior was second in that. Champ Kylie, who's interesting if he comes back, was also in that. Another serious horse. And What's Up Darling was third at the weekend, or fourth at the weekend, sorry. Sixth in the pipe, fourth in a Grade 1 at Aintree. That's some serious form to start your chasing debut. Because if you looked at his form, I don't know how, well, I know why he went off 5-4 in the end when he won, but he put in that really good performance before the festival, didn't he? Then he could have been favourite going into the festival and did nothing. There, Aintree, Punchestown, but he obviously has talent. He's beaten some very good horses. And we talk about Banbridge at 14s, Atlantique at 14. Sorry, Banbridge at 16s, Atlantique at 14s. I think I might have another go this side of Christmas.
Yeah. I was really impressed. I put down the right horses were behind, especially the second as well. So I couldn't understand the price on the day.
Same. I would never have backed him at 5-4.
Yeah, I would never have touched it. It was like that Willie Mullins 1-5 shot or 1-6 shot last weekend. The Richie French horse. Just on hype or whatever. I don't. Yeah. That's not the way. That's not the way I bet. And I would never. About the second, to be fair, I would never have touched that short price. But the right horses were behind. And Paul.
And that's obviously why he went off 5-4, isn't it? Somebody, that they would have known that he was flying at home. But yeah, I'm going to pull his form up. Actually, because I was scratching my head as well. I was thinking, why is he so short? Like, he had so much to prove. After just getting beat at Nace, wasn't it, by Reading Tommy Wrong, and they were both favourites going into the festival. He was then third, but 16.5 lengths third, then 14.5 lengths fifth at Aintree, and then 55 lengths seventh at Punchestown. Like, he could not have looked like he was falling off more of a cliff. And then he's proven us all wrong this weekend over fences. Yeah.
Is this not a trainer moving the market or a jock being in the market? You've been more Irish racing than I have, where you walk around and you see ones in the pumper. And I've got this rule about you never back anything odds against in an Irish pumper if it's Willie Mullins, because if it's 15-8 or something, I'm not touching it. If it's well odds on, I'm all over it. I think walking around just going, so this Atlantique, is it, we're there? Oh, well, yeah, getting the nod. And Townend afterwards, when he very rarely says a lot, most interviews that he does are 20, 30 seconds. It's what he expected, and we'll just improve. And promise over hurdles, and we'll be more promising over fences.
Yeah, okay. An Atlantique, shorter, and gets my nod for the Brown Advisory. Novice hurdlers then. Obviously, all the action for the novice hurdlers happens in Ireland, because if you're trying to find a Supreme winner or a Bingham winner, or even an Albert Bartlett winner, it normally comes from there. We saw a couple. Jasmine DeVoe, who was last year's champion bumper winner, just got up and is now 8-1 for the Bingham or the Gallagher. It's had so many names now. The 2.5 mile novice hurdler. The Yellow Clay, who you've given a shout to, just got up as well, over 2.5.
Didn't just get up, half a length over Fleur in the Park. Oh, is it a neck? A neck, maybe. He's just looking after himself.
And is 12-1 for the Bartlett, which is positive because it looks like he does want further. Both of those were about 1-3, 1-4, 4-11. I would have liked to seen them win a little bit better. What about you?
Not massively. I mean, Jasmine DeVoe, I thought was beat 2 out, and then the second horse was battling back, and then just went off. And then if you read the comments, it's cozily. Not sure. I'm not sure if you want them short prices.
If I was on at 1-3.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd be cozy there. We went to Bill Joyce again. Wins in terrific style, but a lot of these I just not would have backed. The only one out of these that I backed was Yellow Clay at 4-1, and we talked about Sir Alex Ferguson, but yeah, squeaky bum time. getting up by neck. But I really like the yellow clay and the step up. But the other two didn't really, do it for me. I mean, there was one, and I'm probably going off here, but only by night in that Grade 2 mares race for Kevin Cromwell. That was the highlight of the weekend for me, for everything. I pulled up some information on the horse this morning as if to say, right, where's he going next? Right, or where's she going next, rather, at the festival or wherever. And it looks like they're going to keep her over in Ireland and next out Turles. But they're not even looking at Cheltenham, which is cheesed me off a little bit. But do you see the race?
No.
Do you see? Oh, it's the one race of the weekend that is worth a watch. Where you go, wow! It was the Grade 2 Mares Novices yesterday. Have a little look, and you go. I was cooking lunch yesterday. You look around, and you go, wow! What's that? Super impressive. Bridal material.
Road to Turles.
Yeah, that'd be it. Oh, dear. The 2 turns to Turles.
Jasmine Devoe. I don't know why he's favourite for the Gallagher. I think that's purely because he won the bumper last year. I'm starting to wonder if that bumper from last year was actually as strong. That good. Because, Jasmine Devoe only just got up. Romeo Coolio has been turned over. Hasn't ran yet. The Yellow Clay, I suppose he is winning and is on track to the festival. He was 6th in it last year. I don't know. I'm just some of them I'm starting to question how good could the bumper form be. I'm not getting sold on any of them. I'd much rather be backing someone like Potter's Charm that we have seen look really impressive already at Cheltenham in the Gallagher. He's 14-1 currently against you. Jasmine Devoe from the weekend 8-1. He'd be my shout. Or even the new line, the Skeltons, in there at 12s. Yeah. Maybe the Brits can win. A novice I'd love to. Talking to the bumper, I do not have a strong opinion at all on the bumper, but we did see He Can't Dance win at Navan. And he's now quoted 14-1. Every year, everyone has one bumper horse they like to cling on to and tell everyone to back. Mine is Cocktail Brew. Is yours He Can't Dance now, Joel? Or has bumper?
No, not really. Not two from two. Silly prices. What, 1 to 5, 2 to 9, something like that in the weekend. Until you've seen them all out, but you look at Summer and it's 8-1 favourite and. Come second, it's now 33s. Or there was a horse we were looking for a couple of weeks ago and we'd never seen it before because it's still alive or whatever. So that bumper market is ridiculous. There's been horses retired or put in a field or wherever, and they're still in that market. It's something that I wouldn't look at yet because if any of your Irish friends can be on there, because let's be honest, it'll go to Ireland. That's that material. They will give you one. And they're all different. Get on this. But there's nothing that's been out so far that you go, wow, this is worlds apart. Okay.
Any other business then? My any other business was from looking at Goodland's previous form and just going, oh, yeah, what has happened to Champ Kylie? Did a little search on Twitter and supposedly he's in good nick and going chasing. I say pop him in your tracker. You'll know about it before he runs because it'll be in the post anyway. But I used to love that horse. I thought he was a serious kind of staying chaser in the making. And if he does come back over fences, if he reappears from Willie Mullins' army, he's on the short list wherever he goes for me. Anything from you, Joel, bar Lapland?
I've got a leg and a horse that runs tomorrow.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson for Kerry Lee. There's a load of family and friends in there. We've got Man United fans, Liverpool fans, Stoke City fans. So if you look at the colours tomorrow, it's sort of, if you put them all together, Stoke, Liverpool, Man United. So there's a lot of red in there. Got the horse from Ireland. And I think it's just about seeing what we do from Gavin Cromwell. So you don't normally get them off Gavin Cromwell and either improve them or set them up for a touch. But watching back a lot of these races, the horse is either no good and it's been settled for a load of touches, right? So they shipped it off, or there's some improvement. And if it keeps raining or it keeps getting like this, it's Kerry Lee Ground. There's 8 of them as we stand at lunchtime today. It's in the 242 at your tops. It's on Tuesday. So we'll have a little look, see what we got. And it might be, look, the dream's still alive.
The dream is alive until they're
still breathing. Just.
Early shouts for the weekend. Then we'll obviously do our Punters Guide show as usual on Friday. I have 2 actually, both from Cheltenham. One on the Friday, which is Ballygriffin Cottage, around about 12-1 now. Hoping market support comes for him. I'm sure they've got a touch in him somewhere, and I'd say this could be it, particularly if it's an ITV race. It is an ITV race. You mentioned that 500 grand, Joel, and I'd say that they'll be going for it with this Ballygriffin Cottage. So he's an early shout for me on the Friday, and then Saturday we obviously have the December version of the Gold Cup. We mentioned this on another show, but when Gemarand won at Ascot, Venetia said, that's why I had him in the Paddy Power, meaning the November version of the same race. He's now in the December version of the same race after winning, and his mark's now gone up. Again, 12-1. If it's soft ground, he could be a Napo at a big price. They're 2 early shouts from me. Anything from you, or are we signing off and back on Friday?
I think we said earlier on, Venetia, while she's flying, you just keep backing. And at the weekend, 1 for Friday, 1 for Saturday, Fugitive, Fontaine Collonges, get them in singles, get them in a double. There you are. Hopefully have a nice weekend, unless the sun comes out and ruins everything. Yeah, no, I love it. So don't eat yellow snow, back the yellow clay. And when Venetia's in form, just keep backing a blind. Forget your form.
I'm not sure Richard Hobson will be pleased with you thinking that he's called Venetia Williams, but she does straight forward.
That's a great point you make. That's a great point you make. Hey, it'll be like, forget that. Move on. Take that bit out later. All right, or it looks stupid. First time ever.
But you have put him up before, so there you go. And Fontaine Collonges is the absolute.
And I've got jet lag. So Richard Hobson, good luck with Fugitive at the weekend.
There we are. Best luck to Joel and the Syndicate gang tomorrow. We will be back.
The Wilsons, please. The Wilsons.
Sorry, you're much more sophisticated than a gang. The Wilsons tomorrow, and we'll be back on Friday with the Punters Guide, and there's plenty of action and challenge to look forward to. And we've got to give ourselves credit on the last week's Punters Guide. Despite most of the racing being called off, I think we had 3 out of 5 winners from Sandown on the trot in the Grade 1. So we're going all right. We're finding winners, and we'll do our best to do the same Friday. See you then.